There's a moment right before everything changes where it feels like everything is falling apart. You stop recognizing yourself in the mirror. The things that used to comfort you don't anymore. People you used to laugh with start to feel like strangers. And some nights, you lie awake wondering if something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not broken. You are becoming. Carl Jung had a word for what you're going through. He called it Individuation, the slow, often painful process of becoming who you truly are, beneath every expectation, every role, and every version of yourself that was shaped by other people's approval. The truth is, almost nobody tells you what this process actually feels like. It doesn't feel like growth while it's happening. It feels like loss. You lose the version of yourself that kept everyone comfortable. You lose relationships that only survived because you stayed small. You lose the certainty of knowing exactly who you are, because the person you were is slowly dissolving and the person you're becoming hasn't fully arrived yet. Jung believed that real transformation happens in this in-between space, the quiet place, where an old identity fades before a new one is ready to emerge. It's uncomfortable because you belong completely to neither version. But that feeling isn't a sign that you're falling apart. It's a sign that something deeper is taking shape. Let me guess a few things about you. Lately, you've been more tired than usual, not physically, but in a way that sleep doesn't fix. You've started saying no to things you always said yes to. And even when you know it's the right decision, guilt still follows you. Maybe you've caught yourself missing a person, a place, or a chapter of your life that you know wasn't healthy for you. Yet somehow the absence still hurts. And somewhere in the last few months, you've quietly whispered to yourself, I don't know who I am anymore. If that feels painfully familiar, you're not alone. Jung believed the human mind doesn't grow in a straight line. It grows like a spiral. You'll revisit the same fears, the same wounds, the same doubts over and over again, but each time from a different perspective. What feels like going backward is often proof that you're seeing the same mountain from a higher place. Long before Jung explored the unconscious mind, a Persian poet named Rumi was describing the same truth through poetry. He wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Think about that for a moment. Not despite the wound. Because of it, Rumi believed that the moments which break you open are not punishments. They are preparations. The cracking, the confusion, the identity you're grieving right now, none of it is meaningless. It's making space for something larger than the person you've been. What's remarkable is that Jung, writing psychology in 20th century Europe, and Rumi, writing mystical poetry centuries earlier in Persia, arrived at the same conclusion from completely different paths. Jung called it individuation. Rumi called it the wound becoming a doorway. Different centuries, different languages, the same truth. You don't become whole by avoiding the breaking. You become whole by walking through it. So what do you do tonight when you feel caught between the person you used to be and the person you haven't become yet? You stop asking, what's wrong with me? And you begin asking, what is this making room for? You stop trying to return to an older version of yourself because that version completed its purpose. And you stop treating discomfort as proof that you're failing. Jung would remind you that discomfort is often the process itself. Rumi would remind you that the wound is the doorway through which light enters. You are not required to have your entire life figured out before taking the next step. You are not required to know exactly who you're becoming before. You deserve to keep moving forward. You are only required to keep going. So if lately it feels like you're falling apart, if the old version of you no longer fits and the new one hasn't fully arrived, remember this: you are not broken. You are becoming. And somewhere between who you were and who you're about to become, that's exactly where you're supposed to be. If these words found you when you needed them most, I share reflections like this every week. For those learning not just how to live, but how to become.